This better not awaken anything in me.
Alright guys, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Actually, I think I say that every episode, but this time it really is different. We're going to be delving into the realm of small-scale Lord of the Rings. So I was watching Stuart's channel, Miniature Realms, a couple of months ago. You might know him from the Out of the Frying Pan podcast. Definitely go check out both of those if you don't already watch them. He managed to get his hands on one of the old Battle of 5 Armies boxes, and I have to say it awakened something in me. Unfortunately, my Battle of 5 Armies box has been lost to time or gobbled up by the attic because I can't find it anywhere. So unfortunately we're going to have to start from scratch. There are many different companies that manufacture miniatures when it comes to 10mm fantasy. There's also some great 3D artists that are slowly starting to make a 3D range in the same style as Games Workshop. So far they only have the Balrog, Gandalf and Gonrodians, but they have said that they do want to do the full range eventually, which is very exciting. So me being the big elf fanboy that I am, I was going to go for the High Elf army from Pendrakken, along with some orcs as some bad guys. However, when I stumbled across the 3D printed range that looked like the Gonrodians from the film, I had to get some of these, as I just think they look amazing.
Broaden your mind, have fun. Hi, you're here for me.
Another manufacturer I went to was Cobblestone, who have Rohan, Gondor, orcs and Outakes. They've got some Warg Riders. There's a 10mm Fellowship and some awesome evil heroes, so I picked them up as well. I also emailed Tajima 1 Miniatures, who you might know as the Tuft guy, because I seem to remember him doing 10mm miniatures in the past, and me being the lucky git that I am, he actually was just about to do a casting of his amazing 10mm Easterlings that look like the guys in the films.
Do you believe in soulmates?
Okay, now don't be mad at me. I didn't think that more than one person would answer the ad. Yes, dream coming true.
So my box from Germany arrived from Excellent Miniatures with all the 3D printed Gonrodians. I'm so used to the free Amazon shipping that I completely forgot to check how much I was paying for shipping, and when I seen the invoice I nearly about shat myself. So here's some pictures of all the 3D prints I picked up, along with the blisters from Cobblestone Castings. I also got a tiny wee Balrog and a tiny wee Gandalf because I thought they looked really cool. And a couple of months later, my absolute sack of Easterlings arrived from Tajima 1 Miniatures. So the first few tasks were absolutely the worst, so it was good to get them out of the way. The first thing I had to do was clip off all the supports from all the 3D printed models, which took forever. Next up, we should probably talk about rules, as the basing kind of matters for this. So we got the 40x20mm base from Warbases for the infantry and the cavalry. This is the kind of standard basing for Warmaster and Battle of 5 Armies. I think the rules are pretty similar. But I also have an amazing set of rules for ancient wargaming called PK, and I think I'm just going to adapt this a little bit towards like fantasy, just have some magic and stuff in it, because it is an absolutely amazing set of rules. I just love the results you get from it. It feels like a real battle. Basing them up is as simple as just supergluing them down in 2 ranks on the bases. For the heroes, I went for a 20x20 base just so they look a bit different and stand out. For the siege weapons and the bigger kind of commands and creatures like the Balrog, I went for 30x30 just so it was much easier to fit on the base. It's now time to move on to painting. This is the Gonrodian army in its full state. I think it looks pretty awesome. So before I started with the main army, I threw together a couple of test schemes. I basically just tried to emulate the soldiers from the films as best as I could. Despite taking almost no time at all, I think they turned out pretty cool. Alright guys, once we have our 10mm stuff all base coated up and ready, we need to think about it, and you need to think of these as not 12 individual guys, sorry I can't count, but one unit. You treat a unit as a 28mm character. You know, if you were to paint all this detail on each one of these individual miniatures, 1, you'd be complete and utterly mental, but 2, it would take you forever to paint one base because you would be sitting edge highlighting and all that kind of stuff. What you need to do is treat one of these as one of these and paint the unit as a whole. Right, I bet you've not noticed this, but see, when you look at this, I didn't even paint the faces or the shields on the second rank because you're never going to see them. So in a big giant battle, they're going to be down there. Are you going to seriously tell me that you're going to look to check that all the second row faces are painted? You know, all you need is a wee dot of flesh on the first, and that's them done. Similarly, a wee dry brush along the back of the cloth is enough to highlight it, and it's the base. It does the work. You know, I'll show you later when I've painted up the miniatures. They'll look pretty terrible, but once the base is done, it really brings them to life. So I think I'm going to start us off with a black base coat. Quickly put these onto some double-sided sticky tape, take them outside and give them a quick black Games Workshop undercoat. I usually wait for the miniatures to dry to see if there's any bits that I've missed, in which case I will give them a second pass of the undercoat. First up is a very out of focus shot of me painting pretty much the whole unit with lead belcher, before giving them a big once over with Nuln Oil. Sadly, I managed to run out of Nuln Oil before I got the last base done, which is going to infuriate me.
So guys, I got to literally the last base here before running out of Nuln Oil. Probably because I've spilt so much of it on my desk over the years, and this is really annoying me that I can't just do the last base. I do know that I had an old little pot of Nuln Oil, but I think I binned it the other day, but there was a bit left in it. Am I really going to raid through the bin trying to find a small pot of Nuln Oil?
Oh, there's Nelly, look. Oh, what the fuck is that? Oh, who put a fucking bottle of mayo in the recycling? Oh. Oh, I see it. Oh. Oh, found it. Wait a minute. Griffin Sepia. Oh, for fuck. So I finally found the old Nuln Oil and touched up the base that was left. Once this one had dried, I kind of remembered why I put this one in the bin, as it had dried with this horrible white crusty look. I have no idea what's caused this. I just seem to have infinite issues with Games Workshop washes. Either they dry gloss or old white and crusty. But anyway, moving on, once that was dried, it was time to give the miniature a dry brush of Stormhost Silver. Just make sure you get the tips of the details and don't go too heavy with the dry brush. I gave the base and all wood and leather a basing of Rhinox hide. So next up I used black to tidy up the overspill from the dry brush. This was done on the cloth at the back and on the shields. And then gave the back of the cloth a quick dry brush of Storm Vermin Fur just to pick out the raised bits of the cloth. A little bit of Cadian flesh on the faces and any exposed heads before being followed by a wash of Reichland flesh. All that was left was to give the leather a little bit of Mournfang Brown. And then fill in any gold items with Retributed armour. The archers' arrows get a little touching of bone, and for any heads without helmets I just give them a different colour of brown to the hair. Both these get an Agrax wash as well. Right guys, I know it goes without saying, but I am a complete idiot. I really don't know why I based these before painting them. I didn't really notice when I was just doing this because I was just really into getting these done. I know I was all blasé earlier, like, oh, I bet you didn't notice, I didn't paint the wee faces, woo, the second row, how clever am I? But no, I am not. It's an absolute nightmare when you're batch painting, to get into all the little details that you really need to get into. I now understand why Stu didn't base them until he'd painted them, because it's just an absolute arseache. It really is, especially in the bowmen when there's loads of different, there's like wee quivers and
arrows and stuff and you really need to get in between, it is driving me absolutely insane. So if you're watching this, Stu, you are clever, I am not. So yeah, if you do get into this 10mm Lord of the Rings, paint them in the strips, then base them. Don't be a complete idiot. So up next, the Rangers are even simpler. Give everything a base coat of Rhinox hide, followed by Mournfang Brown on all the leather armour and scabbard, etc. And then use Steel Legion Drab on the bow for the Rangers. I think I'll go back and do this on my Gondorian ones as well, as they do look a bit monotone at the moment. Cadian Flesh on the hands, before giving the entire miniature a one-over coat of Agrax Earthshade. A base coat of Flesh, followed by a wash of Atonian Camel Shade, and a quick dry brush of Straken Green. And that is all the Rangers done. Very simple indeed. So basing is exactly the same as usual. Cover the base in PVA glue before dipping it in some Geek Gaming base ready. I then paint the base rim Mournfang Brown just to make it a lot cleaner and not covered in dust. And then the only difference is I use 2mm static grass tufts rather than my usual 4 and 6s. These fit the 10mm scale a lot better. Then do dip a little bit more PVA glue in the base and add in some foam flocks. I think foam flocks work really well at smaller scales. Don't really use foam flocks at 28mm, but for smaller scales I think it looks perfect as little bushes. And with them all based up, my Gondorian army is all done.
Let's get back to the reason that we're really here. Without much further ado, I give you
What is this?
Lord of the Rings.
for ants!
So we know the name of this channel isn't JMAC's Army of Middle-earth, it's Armies of Middle-earth, so let's get us some bad guys, shall we? Oh, I've already made a bit of a start. This is what I've got. Oh, there's my knife! Oh, I was looking for that for ages. Right, I do have a cheeky wee Balrog here. That is going to be absolutely class. For some first aid stuff, maybe get some, another one of that. Got a teeny tiny wee Gandalf. That's ace as well. And then I've got these orcs. These are from Cobblestones. So my plan is to use Cobblestones orcs as kind of maybe like Outakes or Moranin orcs, because they're more kind of rank and file, a bit more organised, higher, you know, they look a bit stronger. But I'm also going to get some, going to the Edinburgh show, Wargaming show soon, and Pendrakken's going to be there. So I'm going to pick up some high elves, because I'm an elf fanboy, so you know, that's what's going to happen. And I'm also going to pick up, their orcs are more kind of scattered and inconsistent, so they're more like kind of rabbles of orcs, big rabbles of them. So we'll have like better Moranins and Outakes from Cobblestone, but then also rabbles. And I've also picked up, I was really lucky, I messaged Tajima1, you know, the guy that does the tufts, because I remember, you know, he does, the only miniatures he's ever made were 10mm Easterlings. Very specific, but they are very nice. And I managed to get a hold of him when he was doing a run of them, so I got a bunch of Easterlings, 10mm. They are very nice, but you can only fit 5 rather than 6 on a base, because they're individual sculpts rather than like a mass. But they do look the part, and I think I've got enough for 3 units and some commanders. I might try and convert, I don't know how you convert 10mm stuff. I might chop them in half and maybe put them on some calves. So I've got some cav Easterling cavalry, but I'm not too sure. But what I'm definitely going to do is paint one of the units like Black Dragons. Will be painted differently, and I think I'll do them in the style as my
my Easterlings from my Easterling video. The black and the orange, they'll be my black dragons. Just to kind of tie in my 10mm stuff with my 10mm stuff. I've also got some more orcs, half orcs, and bad commanders. Ooh. 2 spooky 5 me. Let's have a look. Look. Oh, look at that. Ringwraith on Fellbeast. How cool is that? That is ace. Got some commanders on wargs, captains, and anyone else. Oh, look at that! Fuck it, the Witch King. Oh, if I could do some kind of fire sword. That would be cool, but I have slobbered on long enough. Let's get started with the Easterlings. So I gave them a black base coat in the same manner as my Gonrodians. Sadly, I had already based them before I realised it was a stupid thing to do it. So first up is a coat of Rhinox hide. I really should find a Rhinox hide coloured spray paint, as I do this a lot. Then all the gold is picked out with Retributor armour. So I used Juicy Violet as the wash for my gold. This will make it a lot darker and less warm and more evil than Red Clan Flesh. Followed by an all over dry brush of Liberator Gold to pick out all the nice details. Then my standard weapon colouring scheme: Stormhost Silver, Null Oil, dry brush Stormhost Silver. Simple, simple. Then we need to be careful. We need to give all the cloth a covering of corn red, and we don't really want to make any mistakes, because if we go over any of the gold, it'll be an absolute pain to fix, as it's such a small scale. Need to be careful with these miniatures. I managed to break a few because they're quite delicate. Then I give it an all over wash of Karenberg Crimson. This will kind of make it a bit more matte and dark and get into nice crevices, creating definition on the cloaks. We then dry brush all the red with Evil Sun Scarlet, just to pick out the tops of the detail. We then apply Mournfang Brown to the weapons. So, for my black dragons, the only thing that was different was I didn't do the Rhinox hide base coat at the start. I gave the cloaks a quick covering of black to cover up any of the gold overbrush. I then gave them a dry brush of Administratum Grey down the back, just to kind of pick out the tops of the detail. I then highlighted the headscarf and the belt in Wild Rider Orange in the same manner as my 28mm video. Go check that out, shameless plug. These then get an orange wash. For some reason, the orange wash that I have dries gloss, and it absolutely drives me mental. And then just give them a little highlight of Trollslayer Orange. They were then based in the same way as the Gonrodians, and a little dot of blue was put on the sphere on the shield, just to create a bit of interest and contrast on the miniature. And after all that, my Easterlings are all done. I ended up having enough miniatures to do 5, so I did 3 normal and 2 Black Dragon regiments. I also painted up the Ringwraiths and Tiny Gandalf and Tiny Saruman.
Who did this?
What is that?
It's a tiny
Gandalf.
Okay, that's all it is. It's a tiny
Gandalf. I have started work on my Saruman and Outakes. I've not finished them yet, and I've not done the Balrog and some of the heroes. The video is kind of long enough, and I'd like to save some for next time. My new Null Oil, however, is drying gloss. I don't know why. My brain is going to explode. Fortunately, I don't have my rotating turntable anymore to show off the miniatures. I had the bright idea to cover it in Geek Gaming Scenics, and all the glue went down into the mechanism, and it hardly works anymore. What an absolute plonker. So instead, I will use an old board to do the battle shots. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this different kind of take on Lord of the Rings. editing this now, I have just realised I forgot to do all the flags, so that's great. I'm going to continue this myself. I'm going to get some orcs and some Rohan, high elves, dwarves. I'm just going to get everything. So if you'd like to see it on the channel, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll just do it in my own time and stick to the 28mm stuff. Middle-earth strategy battle game is one of the best, if not the best, skirmish wargame I have ever played. But the only downside I think they have is when you scale it up to massive battles, it does take absolutely ages to fight every single individual combat in a 1000 miniature battle. So it's sometimes nice to throw in a different scale, different set of rules, different flavour of Lord of the Rings. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember to give my bell a good old ring. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh. What do I do now? I don't want to put this in the fucking... Oh, for fuck's... Ah.
And I still have those pants. True story. Oh, we have fun.
Unfortunately, Matt... What the fuck is that? Casting a mad spell. Ooh, isn't that an idea? Basing them all individually and playing small scale strategy battle game. And if you're watching this, look, you want to do a wee Lord of the Rings collab. Oh, make it worth your while, big man. Hope my missus doesn't watch this propositioning myself. Oh, I'm that ugly, I've broke my camera. Oh, for Christ's sake. Oh, all my bases are everywhere. Oh, some of them have fallen out the bags. Why does this always happen to me? Audio synced. What the fuck am I doing? I've already forgot.